With Halloween almost here, 7 out of 10 consumers will be gearing up to hand out candy to trick-or-treaters. Some may be of the opinion that it's better to hand out treats than to be getting tricks. But if you're the owner of an empty home, are you aware of the essential coverage issues that you can run into if there's foul play? Here to talk about concerns over vacant homes and vandalism, Bob Lafaro from Lafaro Insurance Agency. Good to see you, Bob. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
What are some of the concerns, about a house that has literally become an empty nest?
Right. So if I may, let's start by looking at how 2 types of scenarios are defined. The first is unoccupied, which refers to a home that has not been inhabited by people for a significant period of time.
Okay, in other words, that house still has a lived-in look. There's just no one there?
Exactly.
Right.
That is correct. So in comparison, if a house is considered vacant, this is defined as the courts by not having enough furnishings for somebody to comfortably live in.
Okay, so I'm assuming a vacancy can cause implications, when it comes to your insurance policy.
That is correct again, Sean. So the standard cutoff time is typically considered 60 consecutive days. So here are the 2 dilemmas you can run into when occupancy reaches that point. When a vacancy develops beyond the 60 days, there's a standard homeowners form that has language in place that will suspend coverages for both glass breakage and vandalism. The vandalism can translate to a claim denial even if the house has been set on fire and burns to the ground.
Wow, okay, sounds like a bad time to find out that you have a coverage problem.
You got that right. So the second issue is most homeowner carriers, now pardon the pun, are not breaking down the doors to insure vacant homes. Typically, when a carrier finds out a resident is vacant, they end up canceling the policy. And at that point, usually left with a handful of carriers willing to make an offer.
All right, are those arrangements, tough to negotiate?
Actually, not necessarily. A few carriers have embraced vacant properties as created specific niche programs. The problem is they're usually either very limited in coverage or the coverages are more mainstream, but the costs are significantly higher.
Okay, are there any strategies, Bob, short of finding your way back to the house to avoid some of these pitfalls?
Right, so some strategies people take is they make sure their homes remain furnished. Do keep in mind, though, you still run a greater issue of having a claim because the house isn't occupied. If you think finding a viable insurance solution for a vacant house is challenging, try doing it with a claim or 2.
Okay, any final thoughts on this one?
Sure, so many people find themselves, if they find themselves in these type of situations and are unsure where they stand with regard to their insurance, you could try reading your policy language if you're up for the challenge, or better yet, contact your local agent and make an inquiry. And for those of themselves that find themselves home during the trick-or-treating hours, we suggest arming yourselves with plenty of chocolates and other popular treats.
Keep the kids happy.
That's it.
All right, Bob Lafaro from Lafaro Insurance Agency, thanks for coming in. We appreciate it tonight.
Thank you, Sean.